Okay, so now let's study the pricing game of the problem we studied. Okay, as we mentioned, at the very first beginning, these two players make their channel selection decision. After that, they observe the channel structures. They know it's either DD or II or ID or DI, and then they play the pricing game. Okay, so here we're going to illustrate the solution process of the pricing game. I will only focus on the DD structure in this video, okay? Because this is somewhat the most complicated one. If you know how to solve this, then solve the other three should have no difficulty. So, suppose the two manufacturers, they have chosen to use franchise stores, okay? So, they are engaged in this DD structure. Then, for the retailer's problem, in effect, we are solving a bird chain competition. Okay? In the last stage, the two retailers compete by setting prices. And then we can see this is the profit margin and this is the demand. Okay? It depends on my own price and also the competitor's price. This function is exactly the bird chain competition objective function. At that moment, Wi has been fixed by the manufacturer, so it's just a constant. The retailers solve this game. If P1 P2 stars are the Nash equilibrium, we know that we just need to do first order condition and then second order condition to show that it is convex, a convex program. And then the first order condition will be sufficient. And a unique Nash equilibrium can be derived like this. Okay, so that means P1 and P2 star will be the function of W1, W2, and theta. Let's look at this equilibrium retail price for a while. We certainly want to do some verifications before we move on to the wholesale price game. For example, we can see PI star goes up when WI goes up. So that somewhat makes sense, right? If the wholesale price goes up, then my cost goes up and my price will be forced to go up. So that's something. Also, we can see my price will also go up when my competitor's wholesale price goes up. Why? How about this? If my competitor's wholesale price goes up, then my competitor's price will be forced to increase. And when my competitor increase his prices, I have the room to also increase my price a little bit and earn more money from consumers. Okay, that's why my price goes up at my competitor's wholesale price. And also my own wholesale price has a larger effect than my competitor's wholesale price. Okay, 2 is greater than theta. Makes sense because I care about my supplier's wholesale price more. Finally, you probably want to verify that when theta is 0, Pi star will degenerate to the price in the usual channel pricing game. Okay, if theta is 0, you don't have this term. You don't have this, you don't have this, you don't have this at all. So you have 1 over 2 plus Wi over 2. Okay, that's your retail price. That's exactly what we got when we were solving the channel pricing game without competition. Okay, so now let's believe the retail price is correct. Then plugging that back to the demand function, we can get the equilibrium demands like this. Okay, as a function of Wi and W3 minus I. Again, we may want to do some verifications. If my wholesale price goes up, my demand will go down. Okay, because I'm going to increase my price, or you can just treat Wi as your cost. But if my competitor's wholesale price goes up, then my competitor is at a disadvantage. He will lose some demand and I will get some demand. And then my market will go up. Okay, so this can also be explained. Now let's move on to the manufacturer's problem. For the manufacturer, they want to maximize this, and we have QI star now. We plug in that back, so we can see manufacturer 1 and 2, they are affecting each other, because when I change my wholesale price, that's going to affect your demand. So they want to solve this problem. Again, first order condition, second order condition. If you are patient enough, you can show this is a concave function, and then we can apply the first order condition to solve W1 and W2 and eventually get this as a function of theta, the only parameter. You probably want to verify this by yourself before the lecture, because even though the solution process here is very standard, it's quite standard, if you cannot carry the calculations, then you just cannot analyze anything. Okay? Calculations are not important, are not the most important thing, but it is required. So please do some practices by yourself, by go over or to verify these calculations. So now we have the equilibrium wholesale price, and then we can get the equilibrium retail prices, and then we get the demands, and then the manufacturer's equilibrium profits. Okay, of course we can also get the retailer's equilibrium profits, and if we add them together, we get the equilibrium channel profits. This can all be found as functions of theta. Okay, and it may not be so easy to verify whether this is increasing or decreasing in theta, or it's also possible that it's sometimes increasing, sometimes decreasing. We don't really know, but if you want, you may definitely verify it, or simply draw a picture or a graph to show what happened to them. So now we know how to solve DD. For ID, DI, and II, we may all find their equilibrium outcomes. Okay, what are we really want to see is the manufacturer's equilibrium profits. Okay, the manufacturer's equilibrium profits. The reason that we care them the most is because when the manufacturer make the channel structure decision, they try to select the channel structure that can maximize its equilibrium profits. Okay, so in the next video we will see the manufacturer's equilibrium profits will enter the 2x2 game matrix of the channel structure game, and then we will be able to know when will the manufacturers choose to be decentralized. Thank you.